So, you guys, you guys won't believe the drama that I just went through behind the scenes. Nothing was working, but it looks like everything's okay now. And so let's continue. First episode of the week. Let's get into the breakdown of the newest episode of WandaVision, where we finally have some kind of an idea what's going on. So let's get into it. Welcome to the newest episode of SDW.
Super Dario World!
So, for those of you who are wondering why I missed yesterday, we got a notice that our rent's going up. So we decided, you know what? I'm gonna spend the whole day trying to figure out where the hell we're gonna move to because rent is expensive. And so that's what I spent doing yesterday. Big, massive waste of time, by the way, because at the end of the day, we're probably just gonna stay here. But yeah, that's what I did yesterday. Kind of important, I guess. That's why I decided, you know what? This can wait a little bit. Also, we had guests over, and so. Pain in the butt, you know, just family is a pain in the butt. Anyway, but let's get into this because it was very interesting. But before I get into it, let me just give a quick reminder that any comments, questions, or suggestions, you can find me at Dario the Show on Instagram and at Super Dario World. Also streaming on YouTube and on Twitch at Super Dario World. If you want to join me, Otto, I see you're there. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm doing it. I've considered moving to Vegas. No joke. I've considered moving to Vegas, Florida, a whole bunch of places. But for the moment, I believe here is okay. I mean, eventually, I'm probably just gonna live off a suitcase. But yeah, whatever. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah. Tuesday, Wednesdays, Thursdays, I usually stream live at 8 p.m. 8-ish p.m. Today, I wanted to start 20 minutes before. I was actually going to start on time. But technology, man. It was just a massive pain in the butt. But let's just get into it. Like I said, Mondays and Fridays, kind of a wild card. But Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, I'm aiming to start streaming live 8-ish. And so if you want to join me in the chat or anything, I got an eye on it here. So there you go. Questions and stuff. Well, let's get into it. Let's start with the newest episode of... Wait, that's not the right screen. What the hell's happening? What the hell's happening? What the hell's happening? Is it that one? Nope. All right. Damn it. Why does this keep happening to me? Why does this every single time, everything gets switched? It's annoying. Let's just see if I can find the right one here. So I got to do this. Nope, that. All right. Now I can fix it. Because this is very annoying. I don't want that. What do I want? Dude, seriously, like this has been a massive pain in the butt. Computers, they hate me. They just flat out hate me. That's my theory. And I hate them in return. So there you go. So hopefully that fixed it. Let me see. Which one is it? Is it that one? Nope. Is it that one? There you go. Well, let's see. Full. There you go. Finally. That was embarrassing. Anyway, let's begin episode 7 of WandaVision. So we finally have some clue of what the hell's going on, and let's go through it real quick because actually a lot of really interesting stuff happened in this particular episode. So actually, I gotta let me see. I gotta do a little quick switcheroo here. God damn it, stupid tech! I hate it. I hate technology. Anyway, so the episode begins. The theme of this particular episode was supposedly a cross between The Office and Modern Family. And honestly, the episode was sad because it shows you the state of modern comedy. Like it was really sad. Like honestly, it was disappointing. It was way too ridiculous at times. So it wasn't really that funny. So this one is the first episode that I just like really disliked the whole sitcom land stuff aspect of it. I was getting stressed with it before, but I really disliked the comedy in this one. It was bad. It was well acted. The writing was terrible. And so we get Wanda here, who's kind of I guess hungover, and she's the mom from Modern Family. I forget her name. It's not Julie Benz. I'm sure of that, but She's like the blonde mom. Anyway, that's who she's playing here. And she's kind of hungover from using her powers, I guess, and she feels bad because she did something naughty. And the kids come over and they're like, "Mom, things are going weird, and I have a headache because I hear a whole bunch of noise." And Wanda's just like not having it at all. She's like, "You know what? I'm gonna punish myself by spending the whole day by myself," which I agree with that. I respect that. And so we start seeing a whole bunch of weird stuff happening around the house. Like stuff starts changing eras. Like you see this old carton of milk right there. Well, it switches out into a more modern carton of milk. But I wanted to show this image real quick. There's a missing child here in the back of the carton. I couldn't make out who it was. If anybody did, let me know. But I was curious about that. And then you can see the milk changed era. It went back in time. So what does this mean? It means that Wanda's powers are in disarray, or either her powers or her psyche is in disarray. So that's usually not a good sign when you have an Omega level mutant who is not an Omega level mutant in this world, but whatever. Next, we get the Office intro, and like I said, this was not the Office. This was not the Office at all. This was this is what was it? It is it's Modern Family. And I was trying to figure out the calendar here. What Friday the 10th? I'm not sure what month that is. I know it's not March and I know it's not February, but maybe one day it'll be some kind of an important, or maybe it's the calendar from the very first episode, Dinner with the Hearts. But we'll see. We'll see. Like I said, things are wrapping up. We only have 2 episodes left, and so things are going to be wrapping up pretty soon. The interesting thing here also was that, as you could see, it said created by, well, it doesn't say in this one. I guess I got the wrong image, but it says created by Wanda Maximoff. So I thought it was very tongue-in-cheekish. I appreciated that. We get to see the people from S.W.O.R.D. who survived the expansion of the wall here, and we hear them say, we see the commander, the director there say, "All right, operation begins today." What their operation is, we have no idea, but it's going to commence that very day. Next, we finally get to see the dome from the outside, like fully, and it looks the shape is not what I expected. You know, when they say a hexagon, well, I mean, it could still be a hexagon, but it's like emeraldish, like it's shaped like an emerald. So to me, it looks like a chaos emerald. To somebody else, it might look like something else, but to me, it looks like a chaos emerald. And I know that's a Sonic thing, but still, I find that fun. Next, we have Vision, who wakes up in the middle of nowhere and turns to realize that he's kind of in the middle of a circus. And part of that circus, we get to see Darcy, who is the escape artist, which is actually pretty funny. The rest of it, the whole bit, it was just lame. Like I said, the comedy in this one was just sad. It wasn't that great, but Vision is trying to get answers from Darcy, and because he remembers her for some reason. I guess he doesn't remember other stuff, or not very clearly, but he remembers seeing Darcy the day before. So clearly, whatever the spell was that's happening there doesn't affect Vision the same way. So we'll see how that goes. By the way, hello, Masoda. Thank you for joining me. Next, Wanda's hanging out with the twins, and basically she gives them a whole rant of how she doesn't have all the answers, even though she's the mom. Like I said, she's playing the mom from Modern Family. So, all right. And as she's in the middle of her little rant, the neighbor stops by, and she basically takes the kids and like, "Hey, I'll get them off your hair." Like, she keeps showing up just in the nick of time to help her out with stuff. Next, again, Wanda's powers appear to be on the fritz. Things are changing eras. It's weird. She doesn't understand it, and she's kind of freaked out by it because, well, that makes sense. If stuff started changing in your house, you'd be freaked out too, probably. I don't know. I mean, maybe that's just me. Next, we get to see Agent Jimmy here. He gets the email from Darcy where Darcy tells her the secret plan from the director of S.W.O.R.D. is. And basically what they find out is that they had a secret plan where they were trying to reactivate Vision. And now, you guys remember why a previous episode when I said, you know what, why the hell aren't the Avengers being called in? Why the hell is this being kept so hush-hush? Why the hell, if they knew that they stole Vision, they didn't say anything? Why so many things? Well, now we kind of know. and it was kind of expected. It seemed shady what was going on there. Apparently, they planned to reactivate Vision to have another AI sentient weapon walking around with a vibranium suit, or made out of pure vibranium, which would be uber powerful. And apparently that's against the Sokovia Accords, and apparently that's against Vision's will, which honestly, it's the will of the machine, so who really cares? But yeah, so apparently Sword doing kind of shady stuff, and that's why they're keeping things in the download. That's why they're not notifying the Avengers. That's why everything here is kind of been hush-hush. The thing that doesn't make sense is why they would notify the FBI, or why they would let the FBI, contact anybody outside. But whatever, it's the story must go on, I guess, and it gave us an excuse to get Jimmy back, so there you go. Next, they show up at this particular base where Air Force Commander has some sword equipment ready for them, which was really weird. I don't understand this one. Like, you can see right there on a uniform, Air Force, and yet I understand why she would know Agent Rambo, because, her mom was in the Air Force and all that stuff, and she's a captain, she's a pilot, all that stuff. But why they would have access to kick-ass sword equipment? Like, look at this stupid car. It looks awesome as fuck. Let me see. That one. It's sword. Clearly a sword. Why the Air Force would have access to this, and why they would go against, I don't know, the law, is curious, to say the least. But, we've seen stranger stuff. Next, we continue to see Vision following Darcy around, and this bit gets old kind of, let's say, old pretty quickly. And to answer a question in the chat here, Otto, yes, the show is worth it. The first 3 episodes are kind of hard to watch, because he's asking if the show is worth the time. The first 3 episodes, it's a slow burn, and you're in sitcom land, which is weird because you don't understand what's happening and you don't know where it's going. Episode 4 is where it really picks up. Episode 5 and 6 are great because it's half sitcom land, half the real world. And episode 7, which is this one here, is it's also good, except for the fact that the sitcom comedy is pretty bad. But anyway, let's continue. So Vision starts basically. Vision wakes up Darcy, and Darcy is basically like, you're the Vision, and she says, we got to get out of here, we got to talk, and so to give you information. So they decide to steal a car and drive out of there. And now this was really annoying me, and I mean really annoying me, because the Vision can fly. And I complained about this in the previous episode when he started walking out of there. Vision can fly, like, super easily. So the fact that they're driving away kind of annoyed me. But all right, fine. They have to have a conversation, and Darcy really wants to drive, I guess. So there you go. Next, we see Wanda's house is kind of starting to fall apart because of her powers are on the fritz. And Wanda's again like, what the fuck is happening? This is weird. So we finally get a commercial, and this time the commercial is for, what is it? I don't see it. Nexus. Now, it's a commercial for an antidepressant called Nexus. Now, I have a theory of what this is. I'm pretty sure I know what it is, but I'm going to skip it because it's probably going to be relevant. So you can speculate on that one. I'm not going to touch it. Like I said, I'm avoiding spoilers so far, I think. And I'm basing stuff only on the information that's been given to me on this show, so I'm not touching it. Next, you get to see the neighbor hanging out with twins, and one of the twins, the one that apparently is a psychic, or who appears to be able to listen to minds, I guess, tell her, I like you, because silence is coming out of you. It's, all right, fair enough. Next, Rambo decides, you know what, I'm going to ram this truck into that giant wall over there. And so she does it, and it doesn't really go very well because, the wall kicks the massive space truck's ass. And then Rambo decides, you know what? I'm going to push through by myself. So these are the types of things that really annoy me. It's like the big, giant space truck, armored truck could not do it. Yet this chick pushes her way through. All right, fair enough. And so she gets to the other side, and lo and behold, we discover that Rambo has powers. Now, you guys remember in the previous episode when Darcy said that her cells are being changed from going through the wall so many times and all that stuff. And now we kind of get to see what that change means. It means basically, she has powers, and she can see the signal, I guess. This annoys me. It really annoys me. It's one of those things that it's like, so All right. All right, I'm going to try to find logic here. So, Rambo crosses through the wall, and that starts affecting her on a cellular level because the things that go through the wall change. Then she gets kicked out through the wall, and that affects her even more. And instead of giving her cancer or something like that, it gives her powers. And then she's able to cross back with powers that make her more powerful than the powers that created her. All right. I mean, if you want to go through certain logic here, let's try to give a logic here. Wanda subconsciously knows that she's going to need help or somebody to help her, and so her subconscious lets her let Rambo go through, or gives her the powers that would help her specifically in that situation. I guess it could be the closest thing to a reasonable explanation. It's still bullshit. It's still stupid, but whatever. I mean, I've established this before. Comic book Wanda does have the power to take away the powers of absolutely every single person in the Marvel universe. So her giving powers to somebody, not that totally completely far-fetched. Now, giving somebody powers that are more powerful than hers, that's where I have a little bit of issue with, but all right, fine, whatever. I mean, it's not the weirdest thing on the show, so it just annoys me. It annoys me when they do that type of bullshit. It's bad writing, but whatever, let's move on. Vision, then he's talking to Darcy, and still they keep doing this whole breaking the fourth wall. By the way, this episode is called Breaking the Fourth Wall. Here's the problem. You already broke the fourth fucking wall the previous episode. You remember the Malcolm in the Middle episode, which was awesome, and the kid kept breaking the fourth wall? You know what that did? That made this be less impressive. Like, this could have been actually like, a fun little gimmick, I guess. If A, they would have done it kind of like The Office style, and B, they've actually, wouldn't have done it the previous episode, like right before. So it takes away a little bit of the oomph. I don't know. I mean, at least to me, it takes a little bit out of it, but whatever. Anyway, so Vision starts talking to for some reason or another, Vision keeps getting delayed, and he can't make it home. Now, again, this annoys me because Vision can fucking fly. All right? Vision can fucking fly. He could just get out of that stupid truck and make it home in 1 fucking minute if he wanted to. But for some reason, he forgot he could do it. But all right, fine. Whatever. And so he talks to Darcy, and Darcy pretty much explains that the situation of how Wanda killed him because he wanted her to destroy the Infinity Stone, and so she did. And then Thanos brought him back to life so he could take the Infinity Stone, and then he killed them. And so, I wish they would have gotten into the Infinity Stone bit a little bit more, because it shows. They didn't say how Wanda killed him. Now, we know because we watched the movies. But this is kind of an important bit. Wanda was capable of destroying an Infinity Stone. Now, I don't know if you guys remember this, but in Avengers Endgame, the way Thanos destroyed the Infinity Stones is with the Infinity Gauntlet. So, clearly, you need a massive amount of power to destroy an Infinity Stone. So, Wanda was able to destroy an Infinity Stone. And in the previous episode, Vision walked out of the hex, of the hex spell. Well, hex dome. Let's call it he walked out of the hex dome, and the Chaos and I'm sorry, I was gonna say the Chaos Emerald, and the Infinity Stone on his forehead was still kicking. So, what does that tell you? If Wanda had the power to destroy said Infinity Stone, it's possible that she had the power to recreate said Infinity Stone. Is it likely? I don't know, because it's easier to destroy stuff than it is to build them. But it's possible. It's possible. We'll see how it goes, but we'll see. The show's not done yet. Well, hopefully they'll explain that and they won't just forget, or it wasn't just a mistake. Next, we get to see Rambo here finally show up to face off Wanda, and Wanda does not really appreciate it. Wanda's like, "Get the fuck out of my house, you dumb bitch." And as she's trying to kick her out, Rambo kind of uses her powers, and you can see she kind of is capable of resisting a little bit of Wanda. Obviously not 100%, but the powers are, let's say, comparable. And so the neighbors are looking at this whole situation, and Rambo's trying to convince her, like, hey, the Vision Sword's trying to use him for something, and blah, blah, blah. Now, listen. I understand why she thinks Wanda needs to know the whole thing about the Vision, but, I don't know about you, but I think the Vision inside the dome is pretty much out of Sword's reach. Like, they clearly can't get to him, and so the safest place for Vision, so that he won't be turned into a weapon by Sword, would probably be inside that dome. Call me crazy, but I think, there's probably off-planet would probably be better, but on Earth, I think there's fine. Maybe Wakanda, I think it's okay, but whatever, doesn't matter. That sort of stuff doesn't matter. Rambo goes out there and tries to give the pep talk of, like, no, you can't run away from your feelings and all that stuff, which is pretty much the same speech that Wanda gave her kids earlier. But all right, whatever. Next, the neighbor shows up and, again, just the nick of time, rescues Wanda and gets her out of there. And as they're walking away, Wanda does the classic, like, you're lucky that my friend's taking me out of here, otherwise I'd kick your ass, which I appreciated. And Rambo basically just stays there and lets her go for reasons. You risked your fucking life to get in there, and then you just let her walk away because that's reasonable. Anyway, moving on. So we get the Vision still being delayed here by sitcom hilarity, and that's when he remembers, holy shit, I can fly. And so he starts flying away back home, which fucking finally, like, that whole bit was stupid. I was excited to see Darcy in there, and she had her moments like that. Oh no, you're bad back. That was funny, but there was a complete total waste of time. Like, total waste of time, and for no reason. Like, the reason why Vision got delayed was not because of the red light, was not because of the workers that showed up, was not because of the kids crossing the street. It was because he was a dumbass who could not remember he could fly. So, there you go. Next, we have Wanda starting to feel really weird inside the neighbor's house, and she goes down to check out the basement, and in the basement she sees this weird tree coming out of the wall, which, for future record, don't walk into rooms that have trees growing out of them. That's usually a bad idea. Anyway, she walks in there, and she sees all this weird voodoo shit, and all this weird witch stuff, and all this weird stuff. And, by the way, a breakdown of this room would be really fun, but I'm not going to go into it because some of it might be spoilers, some of it might be not. So I'll avoid it completely. And she finds this pretty interesting book. Now, again, I won't get into the book. I won't get into the symbols of the book. I won't get into anything. Let's just say the book was there. And it looks, let's say, like a powerful book. Anyway, as she's going through this stuff, the neighbor walks in, and the neighbor shows that she has some kind of magical or telekinetic powers, closes the door, and then she introduces herself officially. She says, my name's Agatha I'll remember the name because I took a picture of it. I'm bad with names. And she uses her powers and affects Wanda's mind or eye. Now, it's not clear if she's putting Wanda in a trance or if she's giving her a vision. I think she's giving her a vision because we immediately go into the intro of the new sitcom that we're watching, or at least it looks like it. Anyway, and I'll show you bits of it. So it's called Agatha All Along, and we get to see the neighbor doing different stuff to mess with Wanda and the WandaVision show from basically behind the scenes. Well, not behind the scenes specifically, but let's say off screen. So we get to see her, messing with the talent show. Harkness. There you go. It wasn't Harkin. It was Harkness. That was gonna bug me. Anyway, so we get to see her, messing with like I said, the talent show. Messing with the neighbor. The neighbor was the one who started asking about Rambo. Then messing with Pietro showing up. Then messing with she's sitting in the director's chair, And she's the one. Oh, I forgot to mention this, but somebody asked a question to Wanda, like off screen, like, "Hey, do you think you're getting what you deserve?" And Wanda was like, "What the fuck was that question?" And that's what apparently she's the one who did it, and she's sitting in the director's chair next, and we finally get to see her, do like a crazy evil laugh. So finally, we kind of have an idea who the fuck the villain is. Now, there's a lot of stuff there, and let's go through it, and let's just basically focus on the villain here. And this is the most important stuff. Now, well, I guess I'll start from the end. And to me, this is the most important thing. Pietro, right? Pietro. Clearly, she was the one responsible for Pietro being in this particular world. We get to see it. And it shows like either she's the one manipulating him, moving him, or whatever. By the way, Luis Corona, thank you for joining me. Appreciate it. So, here's the thing. So if she's responsible for Pietro being in there, that means that that's the Pietro that she knows. So, is this chick from this world or the X-Men world? Not exactly clear. Is she from this dimension or another dimension? Or is there even another dimension? Or is she just creating something else? It's not clear. The point is, to me, very interesting the fact that the way that she brought Pietro back was with the body of somebody else. But technically, it was still this world's Pietro, because when you saw him dead, he had like the bullet wounds from Age of Ultron. So confusing. Interesting, but confusing. Hopefully they'll explain it at one point, because right now my head hurts. And honestly, it could probably be something as simple as Aaron Taylor Johnson not wanting to come back for the show. But I mean, I don't see why. But okay. Another very interesting bit here is this particular book. So, this chick has shown to have powers very similar to Wanda, right? It looks like she has telekinesis because she closed the door with her powers, and it looks like she has, and she's a psychic somehow because she can actually manipulate her mind. Now, this is confusing to me because that book right there is clearly magic. So, and also Agatha seems to be a witch. So, Agatha, is she a psychic with telekinesis, or is she a witch? Now, if you have powers similar to, like, it's confusing because supposedly Wanda in the MCU does not manipulate chaos magic. She's like a psychic telekinetic, right? That's her powers. That's how they explained it in this fucking show. That's what they said. She has telekinesis. She's a psychic. However, as we've clearly seen, her powers are, let's say, closer to that of the Reality Stone than anything else. And I guess that makes sense with a psychic. Sure, why not? An Omega level psychic. But it hasn't clearly been the power of chaos magic. This is the first time that I think the MCU has shown anything magic related. Now, I remember in Thor, the very first Thor movie, like, what you call science, we call magic, and blah, blah, blah. And I come from a place where it's all the same, blah, blah, blah. So they have magical items, but supposedly they can be explained with science. But this is like I'm talking about voodoo shit. I'm talking about actual witchcraft stuff. This is the first like magical item that I think we've seen that points towards chaos magic. We're talking about chaos magic here. And so if she has powers similar to Wanda's and can actually kind of manipulate her mind, this could actually be the intro, or this could actually be a sign that this Agatha chick is not from this particular dimension. She's from the dimension where Wanda has chaos magic, not this one where she's a psychic with telekinesis or whatever. So confusing, but the Agatha show has officially started. That's how this particular episode ends. This particular episode ends with the beginning of the Agatha show. So hopefully, again, 2 episodes left. So this is usually where a story where you reach the climax. So usually stories like it starts going like, oh, it's slow, more interesting, kind of a dip, and then interesting, and then this is like the climax. Like this is the apex, and then it's the resolution where it starts going down, and you start wrapping things up. So the climax should be the next episode. And it's the episode that's apparently going to be the villain show, which is great. Also, by the way, I fucking called it that this bitch was something more than meets the eye. I did. I remember. I'll try to remember which one, but I did say it. I said, keep an eye on her, keep an eye on Pietro. There's something really weird going on. I don't trust him. And so let's kind of recap where the situation is for everybody. So SWORD agents have said, hey, we're doing an operation today. We don't know what that operation is. So that's one party and what they're doing. Vision, remember that he can suddenly fly, so he's probably flying on his way home right now. Wanda just got either manipulated by a witch, or she was given a vision of what the witch did, or it might not be a witch. It might be just another psychic with telekinesis. Listen, you can't have a magic book and have like all that weird voodoo stuff and not be a witch. You just can't. At least I don't think you can. So I'm gonna just go ahead and say witch. Also, name Agatha. You're a witch. All right, you're a witch. You guys feel free to look her up and check out her bio and all that stuff. I'm not touching that. I'm basing everything on the information that I've gotten on this show alone. So that's the only information that we have. That's the only information that we got. The plan still kind of weird. I'm trying to figure it out here. So I am Agatha. I'm manipulating what should be an Omega level mutant to create a weird little side, like a pocket dimension. Why? What the hell is the end game here? Is it to siphon off her powers? It doesn't look like she's doing that. Is it? And also, now that I think about it, if she's the one who moved Pietro in there, Pietro wanted to know how she did it. So, let me see. I'm going to try to solve this one. I'm going to try to figure this one out. Pietro was in there. She was trying to get the information of how the hell Wanda did it. And if she's the one manipulating, that means that she's the one that wanted the information. So how can she... So she's trying to get information on how Wanda created something that she's kind of a part of creating. I'm very confused. I'm officially very confused. At what point did Agatha... Because, all right, I'm confused because it looks like Agatha's been a part of this from the beginning, right? She was there on the I Love Lucy episode, so she was clearly a part of this from the beginning. And if she was a part of this from the beginning and she's sitting in the director's chair, that means that she's the one that's making this kind of a TV show. That means that she's the one that's sending the signal out. That means that she's the one that stopped sending the signal out, probably, unless Wanda, made her wall so powerful that the signal stopped coming out. So, why? I can't figure out the why. You reach out to Wanda and tell her, hey, I think I know a way to bring back Vision, maybe, but why would she do it? Oh, I'm confused. I gotta tell you, all my theories get broken up by another piece of information here. So I'm very curious to see how the hell they're gonna fix this, because they're in the middle of a massive clusterfuck, and so we'll see how the hell they dig themselves out of it. But next episode will be the Agatha episode, and hopefully they're explaining this, and hopefully the climax is gonna be epic. But we'll see. I mean, the stage is set. Now it's time to see what they do with it. So I think that's it for today. That's a good place to stop. Like, hopefully your head doesn't hurt as much as mine, because I'm really trying to make sense of stuff. Not going that great. I mean, yeah, it's not going that great. Anyway, that's it for today. As always, any comments, questions, or suggestions, you can find me at Dario the Show on Instagram and at Super Dario World. Streaming on YouTube and on Twitch Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays at Super Dario World 8-ish. If you want to join me in the chat and stuff. Mondays, Fridays are wild cards. I'm still not sure what I'm going to do there. But that's it. Yeah, that's it for today. Thank you for joining me, everybody at the chat. As always, thank you for listening, and I'll see you again next time.